It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 take, go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Back row, Bruce, Jerry Punch, go.
JPanel, HardcoreRaceFans.com. Seems like almost every week we have different tire issues. It seems like Atlanta was the beginning of all that. I know Goodyear's brought another tire here, but how worried are you about the tires this weekend?
I think that I think every weekend that we go to a racetrack, we're not necessarily worried about tires, but we're thinking about it, and we're concerned with the the performance and how everything's going to work. The thing you got to remember is they're working within such a narrow margin of the tire being too soft, the tire being too fast, the tire being too hard, the tire being too slow. It's such a narrow margin. And if you think about it, just the weather, it raining on the racetrack and washing the rubber off, can change the way the tire and the way the race car is, that they have to throw a mandatory caution to make sure that the tire doesn't wear out. When you're working within such narrow margins, man, it's really, really hard to get right on. And I think Goodyear does a great job at trying to balance all those things out. They've got a new car, a lot of new things that have been thrown at them, and they weighed on the side of conservative here in the spring. And you got to think that we want them to weigh on the side of being conservative. Now, if the race would have looked the same at Indy as it did here, the tire was too hard. Indy probably would have been a better race, and people would have been happier than being too soft. So I think that they weighed on the side of conservative. We beat them up over that, and when they went to Indy, they got, they were standing there, and got slapped. So it's they're in a difficult position, and I think the tire they've picked for here is going to be perfect.
Bruce, Dr. Punch, and then the back, and we'll end. Go.
Bruce Smart with SI.com. Greg, I know a few people talked about it last weekend, were asked this question, but I'll put a different spin on it. If somebody had said to you back at Richmond that Kyle Busch would be less than 50 points from being 500 points back with 4 to go, what would your reaction have been?
I'd ask you to go get your temperature checked, because I would have never thought he'd been that far back. I thought you're crazy, but it's the same thing about luck. I mean, the right place, the right time, execute properly, things happen. And I'll tell you, when the wheels start coming off this thing, it's hard to get it to stop. Man, it's hard to get it to stop. And then, you don't give up, but if you relax your guard a little bit, like, oh, I can't win anymore, or I can't win the title, things can compile, and snowball effect on you. But it's that hard to get momentum, and it's that easy to lose it. It's a difficult spot. I wouldn't have thought that he'd have been that far back, certainly. But it's a tough sport.
We'll go with Jerry, then we'll end with Dwight. Go.
Hey, Greg, Jerry Punch, ESPN on ABC. In football, we talk to coaches that are playing against a heavy favorite or a reigning champion. They keep telling us if we can keep it close into the fourth quarter, we might have a shot. And I'm just wondering, no one has the record of success at Homestead. No one can compare it to what you've done at Homestead over the years. Have you and Greg thought about what could happen if you can keep it closer, get it a little closer, getting these guys to Homestead, where Jimmy Johnson and Carl and Jeff Burton, none of those guys have won, and how close do you need to be going into that finale to have a shot to get that championship?
I think that we need to be within probably 50 points going into Homestead. I think that is a reasonable amount of points to make up. Certainly we'd like to see it less than that, but 50 points is, depends on whether he leads a lap, but roughly 12, 13 spots. That would be feasibly possible for us to win and him to have an average day. I think it needs to be more in the 20 to 30 range. probably to have a safer bet at it. But I think we're going to be competitive at Homestead for sure. We've already looked at Homestead's setup today and talked about it, or a couple days ago when we were talking about Atlanta. But I think we'll be there. I think that we can put some ground on him over these next few races, and get closer to him.
Final question, Dwight.
Dwight Drum, RaceStake.com. Greg, could you comment on whether there's any special pressure of being the top contender, and would you rather be chased or would you rather chase?
Well, I predicted that I'd have a lead myself, I suppose. I was talking to the guys and Irwin about it, that we'd have a lead at Homestead, or at Phoenix going into Homestead, and of about the point lead that Jimmy has right now. So kind of shoes on the other foot, I guess. I'd rather be the guy that being chased, obviously. It makes it much easier, because literally all he has to do is finish really in the top 10. And we know he's going to finish that or better, and he's going to be looking good for a third title. So, yeah, you'd rather be in that position, but we're at a deficit. We're going to race as hard as we can, and we're going to take some chances and hopefully be able to narrow that margin up by Homestead.
Greg, thank you so much. You've been
Thanks.
very generous with your time. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And we'll get to hear from Jimmy Johnson in about 10 minutes.